Hello, everybody. We're back at it again here, and in the small business segment, this small business segment, we're talking about calculating startup cost. Calculating startup cost is much like it's the next phase in the roadmap. Well, in the roadmap of let's just say taking a destination or taking a vacation, how are you going to get there? And how are you going to get there? How much is it going to cost? So one of those things to consider, are you going to take a bus? Are you going to take a plane? Are you going to take a car? Are you going to ride your bike there? How are you going to get there? So, and in doing that, those costs, as far as in the hotel and the spending, things like that, how much is it going to cost? That's important. So, if nothing else, you don't have to like nail it down to the penny, but at least get a ballpark idea. Hey, it's going to cost $500. It's going to cost $700. And then how much do you have saved up, or how much can you get access to in credit or otherwise? That's always important to do because usually in starting a business we're all gung ho about it, and that's exciting. And I definitely know you're going to make it, but have a roadmap to doing so, and take a little risk and travel into the unknown, but also make sure it's a reasonable idea, and make sure it's one of the portions of making sure it's reasonable is making sure things don't cost too much. In doing so, I can tell you in the beginning, myself and my partner, we do bookkeeping for small to medium-sized businesses in our company right there. Um, is that a lot of people are very gung-ho in the beginning, and that's exciting. That's great, and you should be. I definitely want you to make it. But in the beginning, a lot of people say to themselves, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a shot here. It's a shot in the dark. I don't know where I'm going. I have no clue. Worst case scenario, I'll be back to work in 6 months. And 6 months comes and they're making it. And they'll say, okay, let me go another 6 months, another maybe year or so. Well, anyways, to make a long story short, they're after 10 or 15 years, they're still in business, which is exciting. But they're kicking themselves because all those expenses, as far as the rent, as far as the meals, the office supplies, you name it. In the beginning, they didn't save those things because they were just like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a blast and just throw away all my receipts. But those receipts in the beginning can offset those expenses, or I'm sorry, those that income you're making after 2 or 3 years. But since people throw it away and they don't care about it, they lose that deduction. So keep track of expenses, and or at least just put it in a pile, or something just to kind of keep track of it. End of the year, add it up, profit and loss. There you go. Well, anyways, but back to you definitely need to calculate things like office supplies, utilities, equipment, inventory. I can tell you, especially, a lot of people they'll buy all these parts and things like that, especially in a inventory heavy company, and they won't keep track of it. They won't have a system. Obviously the best thing to do is to get some accounting or some inventory system to properly keep track of it. If you can't, get Excel, and if you or Microsoft Excel. If you can't do that, just get a piece of paper and just put a mark there, and that's it. Keep track of it, because it's fun and exciting to have a business, but you have to do some of the boring stuff. And in the beginning, most small business owners, they wear many hats. They'll be the janitor, they'll be the CEO, they'll be the inventory specialist, they'll be the accountant. And obviously, as you grow, you can hire somebody to do the accounting, you can hire somebody to do the inventory, the boring stuff. The boring stuff you do on Friday nights when you should be out having fun with your friends and family. Outsource those things, and of course, it comes with making money. And also things like phone, internet, license, and permits, insurance. Obviously, you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for long-term success. Although you can't see it in the beginning, believe me, I know you'll be successful. You keep track of these things. It's very important. I know I've told you I'm going to talk like a broken record here. Keep track of them. I can tell you, in our company, a lot of these people get super excited and they don't realize it. Anyways, enough of me talking. This segment is just a little bit about me. It's our business, Metro Bookkeeping there, www.metroacc. It's run by myself and my wife, over 15 years of experience. Talk to you later.